Hello everybody, it's Ocelot, and welcome to another full game guide. This one is going to be my most ambitious one yet. It's going to be a build based around the Ordovis Greatsword. If you'd like for your character to come out with the same stats as I did, there's a link to the setup guide for upgrade materials and early game runes in the description. Also, there should be one at the top right of your screen at the beginning of this video. Here's some of the gameplay of acquiring the weapon and some of the enemies we'll be facing. Here's my endgame character. We have a plus 10 Ordovis Greatsword, plus 25 Clawmark Seal, Crucible Knight set, Shard of Alexander, Godfrey Icon, Star Scourge Heirloom, Ritual Sword Talisman. Other talismans we have are the Dragon Crest Great Shield Talisman, Carrion Filigree Crest. We have the Dagger Talisman, Two Finger Heirloom, in our Physic, Strength tier, and the Stone Barb Crack tier. We also have the Faith tier and the Holy tier. Here's the stats I ended up with: 46 Vigor, 15 Mind, 24 Endurance, 76 Strength, plus 5 with the Talisman, 13 Dexterity, 9 Intelligence, 33 Faith, 7 Arcane. Starting class is going to be the Vagabond, and you want the Golden Seed Keepsake. Again, the setup guide link is in the description. So after following that guide, we'll pick it off here. Let's go ahead and level up with the runes. You're going to put 10 points into Vigor, 12 into Strength, 6 into Faith. Let's go after our setup weapon, the weapon we're going to use to defeat the Crucible Duo. Follow me to Caelid. You can go from the rear Gale entrance, or you can go from the Third Church of America, head north and then east. There's going to be a crashed caravan surrounded by Tyrannodogs and a bird. So just go ahead and sneak up to it. If you follow my route, you won't aggro any of the enemies. Behind this caravan, we're going to get the Greatsword. This is just the setup weapon. If you'd like to see a guide for it though, leave a comment down below. Now that we have the weapon, let's go ahead and upgrade it. I use Smithing Master EG, which is right next to Road to the Manor side of Grace. You can go to the Round Table Hold if you haven't got this side of Grace yet, but here's how you get to it from South Raya Lucaria Gate. There's a teleporter at a gazebo. That'll teleport you just south of EG, and you can run northeast to him. So level up your Greatsword. Next, we're going to get the Ash of War that we're going to apply to it. Let's go to East Raya Lucaria Gate. You want to turn the time into nighttime. We're going to be defeating a Knight's Cavalry that only spawns at night. Before you go after this knight, make sure you have a dagger and apply Golden Vow from the setup onto it. Now, I forgot to cast Golden Vow for this battle. Make sure you cast Golden Vow before you go after this knight. He should be pretty easy, but still, any extra damage will help you out. Strategies for the Knight's Cavalry: I try to stay on his left or my right as much as possible. You can do jump attacks or rolling R1s or RB if you're on Xbox. So with the Knight's Cavalry down, we get the Ash of War we're going to be using, Giant Hunt. For now, we're going to use the standard affinity when we apply it to the Greatsword. Next, let's go ahead and go back to Limgrave. So go ahead and head to the Stormhill Shack side of Grace. We're going to this mark on your map. We're going to be picking up the Strength tier. So at the site of Grace, you're going to want to apply Giant Hunt to the Greatsword. For now, just use standard affinity. So make sure it says Greatsword plus 16 at the top of your screen. Do not choose quality. Go pick up the strength tier, and after that we're going to be picking up another tier for our physic, the faith tier, which is in the Weeping Peninsula. The faith tier is just southwest of the Church of Pilgrimage site of Grace. So go ahead and warp to the Church of Pilgrimage, head southwest. I had already picked it up, but on that bowl next to the poison flowers is where you'll find the faith tier. So next we're going to Fort Gale. Head to the Fort Gale north side of Grace and head south. We're going to be picking up the Star Scourge heirloom, which gives us +5 to strength. It's going to be inside of the fort in a chest. Outside of the fort on the south side, we'll be picking up Flame Grant Me Strength. It's going to be our starting buff to begin with until we get Howl of Shabriri. Now let's head to the round table. You're going to want to see the Twin Maiden Husk and buy the Finger Seal. Now let's go to Altus Plateau, just west of the Erd Tree Gazing Hill site of Grace. We're going to be picking up the Ritual Sword Talisman, which is locked behind Gillica. In your physic, go ahead and put the Strength tier. The Faith tier right now isn't completely necessary. Don't forget to memorize Flame Grant Me Strength. Put on your buffs just outside the fog wall. Walk in and take care of Gillica. So this boosts our damage by 10% when our health is full. Next, we're going to be going after Golden Vow Incantation, which is in Mount Gelmir. It's around this mark on your map. If you have it, you can get there from the old Altus Tunnel, or from where you're at, just head slightly northeast, go up a couple Spirit Springs and across a bridge, and this will take you to the shack that has Golden Vow. Now I'd like to take care of the dogs if possible, because you're going to get invaded here by Anastasia. She will be relatively easy to take care of, but it's easier to take her down one-on-one than having to fight her as well as the dogs. Now you have Golden Vow. This will boost all your damage by 15% and all damage negation by 10%. The effect lasts for 80 seconds. Next, we're going to the Stormhill Shack site of Grace, and then we're going to head west. This part is optional but recommended. We're going to be fighting Margit. Before we do that though, let's use our runes. We'll put 3 points into Vigor. Also, let's make sure that we have the correct spells memorized. You want the Golden Vow Incantation and Flame Grant Me Strength. In your Physic, you want the Strength tier and the Faith tier. Again, this is an optional fight. The main reason I did it was for the extra talisman pouch. If you'd like to go straight for the duo after this setup, you can. I recommend fighting Margit, however. Margit down. Let's go ahead and level up. Put 1 point into endurance. Also, the reason why we wanted to defeat Margit was we want to get the Iron Wet Blade. This will allow us to make our Greatsword instead of just a quality Greatsword with the Giant Hunt Ash of War. We're going to be able to make it a heavy Greatsword. This will take advantage of all the points we've dumped into Strength, plus the 10 points we get for 3 minutes from the Strength tier. So let's go to this side of Grace that I'm heading towards first. You can slow it down if you have to. Let's use the runes we just got and put a point into Endurance. For now, we'll put on the Star Scourge Heirloom. So we have the Star Scourge Heirloom and the Ritual Sword Talisman. Follow my route on screen and I'll take you to the Iron Wet Blade. Next, we're going to head into Liurnia. So we're going to take the Lascar Ruined Site of Grace. We're going to be picking up the Spear Talisman. Before we forget though, let's go ahead and rest at the Site of Grace and make the affinity heavy on our Greatsword. So we have Giant Hunt on a heavy Greatsword. In the Lakeside Crystal Cave, I'll show you the route how to get there, but we're going to want the Spear Talisman. This boosts counterattack damage by 15%. Counterattack damages any thrusting attack. Giant Hunt is a thrusting attack, so you get bonus counterattack damage if an enemy is attacking you while you are attacking. So go ahead and switch out the Star Scourge Heirloom for the Spear Talisman. So your two talismans will be the Spear Talisman and the Ritual Sword Talisman. Next, we're going back to Limgrave. We're going to take a visit to Patches. Patches sells a few items that we will definitely need for our journey. So go ahead and warp to the Aghill Lake south side of Grace. Make your way to the mark I made on the map. Before you can go inside the cave, you're going to get invaded. This is going to be an easy takedown though. So go ahead and take down the invader, and then we can go inside the cave. So after grabbing the Site of Grace, go ahead and run through the cave. It's a very small cave, so you can't get lost. Go through the boss fog, open the chest. This will spawn Patches. You can either kill him or let him live. I decided just to kill him and take his bell bearing to the round table. Whatever you decide, if you don't decide to kill him, you'll have to warp back to the Site of Grace and then run back inside the cave.
Cough up your coin. Oh, wait, please. It was bound to happen someday. What a shit show.
Chose to kill Patches like I did. Let's warp to the round table. We're going to visit the Twin Maiden Husk and give her Patches bell bearing. There are 3 items you want to purchase. Most important thing you want to purchase is Margit's Shackle. I recommend also purchasing the Gold Pickle Foulfoot. There's 3 of them, and the Missionary's Cookbook. This allows you to craft as many Gold Pickle Foulfoot as you have the material for. So now we have all the items and weapons necessary to go after the Crucible Duo. So make your way to Alriza Hero's Grave. Make sure you have everything correct. Golden Vow, Flame Grant Me Strength, Strength tier, Faith tier. You want 5 red flasks, 3 blue flasks, or you could do 4 and 4. but do want at least 3 blue flasks. Equip Margit's Shackle. You want to use Margit's Shackle here. This is the last set of chariots. This will make another chariot spawn in that will make all the other chariots crash into each other. This will now mean that you can go through this dungeon without having to worry about the chariots. Now before I show you my fight, I'm going to show you the Crucible Duo Moveset. Siluria mainly does jabbing attacks, but she will do swipes. As you can see, I backed up after the critical, mainly because Ordovis gets aggressive for some reason. This is Siluria's phase 2. She does a jumping attack and her Ash of War, Siluria's Wolf. She also has that claw attack. The jabbing attacks can easily be punished. As for Ordovis, the shield is a huge problem, and when he does that jab where he lifts his right arm, that's going to be the best time for you to attack. When he does his Ash of War, you want to jump over it and do a jumping attack. This is his phase 2. He also has a flying attack, but it doesn't slam down, it just flies into you. He does a shield bash, which you have to watch out for. Area of effect stomp. Slashing attacks. There's that jabbing attack again, which is your window to attack. His Ash of War, you want to jump over and do a jumping attack on that as well. Here's where I died when they were both next to each other. He also has a tail swipe in phase 2, so those are all the attacks to watch out for. And here's going to be my attempt against the duo. It took me 3 tries. Again, you want to punish the jabbing attacks when they're lifting their right hand elbow up. That's going to be your cue to use your Ash of War. Your Ash of War has a ducking animation, plus you get the counter attack bonus damage. Right there I got 1390, but if you see on this next one, I only get 930 because Siluria had already finished the attack and wasn't attacking anymore. If you go for the critical, look around for where Ordovis is, because for some reason he gets aggressive when you're doing a critical. I usually run away as soon as the critical's over, reset, make sure your stamina's good, FP and HP are good. There was a jabbing attack which I took advantage of with the Ash of War. Here, Ordovis is going to transition into phase 2. Again, be careful with his flying attack. Sometimes he'll do the tail whip after the flying attack, so when I see that, I try to run away from his as far as possible. And down goes Ordovis, and you are rewarded with Ordovis's Greatsword, the main weapon of this run. You also get his armor, but for now, we only have enough endurance to equip the chest piece. So you can equip the sword, the chest piece, and if you killed Patches, I believe you can equip his leather greaves. Either way, just make sure you stay in medium load and not in heavy load. So here, I'm going to show the sword we used again. It was a heavy greatsword with giant hunt on it. We had Ritual Sword Talisman and the Spear Talisman. Strength tier and Faith tier in the Physic. We won't be needing the Spear Talisman anymore, so you can swap that out for the Strength Talisman. Let's go ahead and go to EG and level up the sword to +6. Also, we're going to level up our stats. Let's put 2 points into Endurance. Now let's go ahead and warp to the Saints Bridge site of Grace and head east. We're going to be killing a Tibia Mariner so we can give the Deathroot to Godrick in North Dragon Barrow. The Clawmark Seal is going to be the main seal of the run. It has B scaling in Strength and Faith at +25. With the Tibia Mariner down, we get a Deathroot. Let's go ahead and put that on pause for now. We're going to be heading into Limgrave, south part of it. We're actually going to do Blaidd's quest. Let's put a mark on the map for now where Godrick is. Let's go head over to Merchant Kale, ask him about the Howling in the Mistwood. He's going to give you a gesture which you want to use at the Mistwood Ruins. So go ahead and equip it. Head to the Fort Height site of Grace. Head northwest. And we're going to talk to Blaidd so we can do his quest. So after doing the finger snap gesture, go ahead and talk to Blaidd. He's going to tell you about Darrywell. So let's go to make a mark on our map to the Evergel that he's at. Go to the Ag Hill Lake south side of Grace. Head south, head into the Evergel. This isn't necessary, but if you want to summon Blaidd for this fight, you can. You're already extremely overpowered. I just did it for the heck of it. But his summon sign is there. Whether you summon him or not, go ahead and take care of Darrywell, and then we're going to talk to Blaidd afterwards.
No. This is where it ends for you.
By doing this questline and talking to Blaidd afterwards, he's going to tell you about EG. So now that we talked to EG, we can exhaust his dialogue and we'll be able to buy another talisman. But before we do that, let's head to the Third Church America. Use the teleporter that's just north of it. This will take us to Dragon Barrow. Go directly north, talk to Godrick, give him the Deathroot, and he'll reward you with the Clawmark Seal. Next, let's make another trip into Caelid, right around this mark on the map. Go to the Fort Gale north side of Grace and head directly east. Going into the abandoned cave for the gold Scarab. Again, this is going to be another easy fight. So the gold Scarab boosts rune acquisition by 20% on defeated enemies. You can use it just like I did. Once you defeat an enemy, go into your inventory and switch out to it. I usually switch out the ritual sword because it's right next to it. Right when you defeat an enemy, that's when you want to switch out to it. For now, let's go ahead and head over to EG, and we're going to get the Carrion Filigree crest. Exhaust all of his dialogue, go to purchase the Carrion Filigree crest. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to do the Godskin Noble. So go to the Altus Plateau side of Grace, head south, talk to Raya, she'll warp you to Volcano Manor. You're going to want to talk to Tanith. Choose to join Volcano Manor, and Tanith will give you the drawing room key. Use this on the first door on the right down the hallway. Run through, go to the Prison Town Church side of Grace. I'm going to speed it up here, but you can follow my route if you need to slow it down. I'll be picking up some smithing 6s, which we won't need till later on in the playthrough, but we may as well pick them up since we're already here. Now before heading straight into the Noble fight, we're going to open up the drawing bridge just in case we die. So go ahead and do that. After that, go ahead and make sure that you craft all the sleep pots that you can hold. For me, that was 5. Make sure you have them equipped. After you equip them, head back over the drawing bridge, and let's go ahead and go after the Godskin Noble. So go ahead and throw a sleep pot at the Noble. If you throw it past him, just run past him and he'll walk into it and fall asleep. Go ahead and put all your buffs on while he's asleep. You're going to want to do 2 charged Ordovis' Vortex. So make sure you have your FP full. Switch back over to your sleep pots so you can get ready to sleep them after you do the critical hit. But 2 charged will put him into the critical stance. After the critical hit, back up, throw another sleep pot at him, 2 more charged Ash of War, and he'll be taken down. Don't forget to switch to the Gold Scarab right after you finish your last attack. With the Noble's runes, let's go ahead and put 2 points into Mind, 4 points into Endurance. So now you have enough endurance for the greaves. So you can wear the chest piece and the greaves for 53 poise. Go ahead and run through Volcano Manor. I'll pick it up right before the Stone Sword key door. I'm going to speed it up a bit, but just follow my route on screen. We're interested in picking up the Somber 7 that was locked behind Noble. Now we have the Somber 7. Let's go ahead and pick up Somber 8 and Somber 9 in Dragon Barrel. Right about there and there is going to be where Sombers 8 and 9 are. You can go west from Fort Ferrith if you don't have the closest site of Grace, which is Dragon Barrel West. 8's going to be in this exploding Scarab, so once you eventually kill it, it's going to explode, so be careful with the explosion. Number 9 is going to be directly northeast of here, just lower. Now that we have Somber 7, 8, and 9, let's go to Master EG, upgrade our sword to +9. which is 1 level away from max. We're going to be picking up the Crucible Incantations as well. So go to the lift side, chamber side of Grace in Stormveil. Follow my route on screen. It's going to be a similar route we took to get the Iron Wet Blade, but instead of turning right, we're going to head straight and go up the lift. We're going to go out past some birds and drop off of a ledge. There's going to be a Crucible Knight that we're going to need to defeat to get the incantation. Crucible Incantation is going to be in an Everjail, just southeast of the Stormhill Shack side of Grace. So go ahead and follow my route on screen. I'm going to speed it up. Now we're going to need more memory slots, so let's head over to Lenny's Rise. It's going to be by the Lenny's Rise side of Grace. After that, we're going to the Castlemorn Rampart side of Grace to pick up those memory stones. Also, when we're done doing that, we're going to head to the Round Table and purchase one from the Twin Maiden Husk. So go ahead and purchase the memory stone from the Twin Maiden Husks. Next, we're going to be getting some runes, so we're going to fight some landscape bosses. We're going to be in Dragon Barrel. Combined, they're worth around 240,000 runes. We're going to want to take advantage of the gold pickle foulfoot that we bought earlier and the gold scarab. So make sure to equip the gold pickle foulfoot somewhere where you'll be easily able to access it. I put it in my quick down menu, so I hold triangle and then down on the D-pad, and that'll use whatever item that I have there. Also, once you kill the enemy, make sure to switch over to the gold scarab. When you're ready, head to the Fort Ferret side of Grace, head northeast, and first we're going after the Putrid Avatar. So the main attacks you want to watch out for is that stomp and this jump, because when he lands, there's going to be a Scarlet Rot area of effect. Also, that slam down with the staff brings out Golden Land. You want to jump on Torrent and not get stuck on a jar like I did. Other than that, he telegraphs most of his attacks with his staff, so just roll. Once he does the overhand, that's going to be your key to attack back. So his health is low. You can pop the Gold Pickle Foulfoot now. I just kept it in mind that he's about to die. Use the Gold Pickle Foulfoot right away. Got my Gold Scarab ready. Switched over to it. Ran northeast. Now we're going after Flying Dragon Greyll. We're going to try to kill Greyll with the same Pickle Foulfoot. If you're not able to do so, we did buy some and you are able to craft them. So do not feel pressured into killing Flying Dragon Greyll with the same Gold Pickle Foulfoot. If you need to, warp to a side of grace and then come back and fight Greyll. As for Greyll, you want to watch out for the stomp attack. Want to watch out for his jumping fire attacks. You want to watch out if he tries to get you with his wing. Other than that, just try to stay near the foot as much as possible. Again, when you see the enemy's health low, get ready to switch to the Gold Scarab and or the Gold Pickle Foulfoot. So with both enemies down, let's go ahead and spend the runes. We're going to get a whopping 14 levels. So let's go ahead and put 2 points into Endurance, 4 points into Strength, and 8 points into Faith. That's going to be all the points we're going to be putting into Faith for this run until the very end game. As for Endurance, we may level it up more a bit. Strength is going to be the main attribute we'll be leveling up, as with Vigor. Leveling up, let's go ahead and equip the 2 incantations we just picked up, aspects of the Crucible Horns and Tail. Next, we're going to be picking up the last incantation we're going to be using on this run, Howl of Shabriri. So go to my mark. Second mark is going to be for another tier that we'll be using on this run. Head to the Grand Lift of Deck this side of Grace. Go south to the Frenzy Flaming Tower. Up this second set of ladder, we're picking up Howl of Shabriri. After you pick it up, go up the third ladder so we can kill the enemies up top. And we won't be taking any damage when we're in this area. So if you continue on south from this location, you're going to hit another side of Grace. Go ahead and take off Flame Grant Me Strength, and we're going to be putting in Howl of Shabriri. So this is going to be the loadout we're going to be using. Continue on south to another Erdtree avatar. After taking down the avatar, you're going to be rewarded with elemental tiers. We're going to be interested in the holy tier. Now we're going to use the strength tier and the faith tier most of the run, but we will be swapping out the holy tier for a few bosses. So our build for the most part is complete. There's just a few things we're missing which we'll get along the way. For now, let's go after Godrick. So go ahead and warp back to Stormveil Castle. I have the lift side, chamber side of Grace as the closest Grace I have. Make sure you have the strength tier and the faith tier in your physic. Again, you're going to put on Golden Vow, then Howl of Shabriri. Fill up your FP, and then send it. Going to remind you one more time, get ready to switch to the gold Scarab. With Godrick defeated, let's go ahead and level up. We're going to put 2 points into Vigor. Next boss we're going to be going after is Radahn. So go ahead and warp to the Church of Plague site of Grace, if you have it. If not, you can go southwest from Fort Ferrith. Use as many runes as you need to complete a level. We're going to be using a shortcut, and more than likely we won't be able to get our runes back. You're going to put that 1 point that you get into strength. After, head south, jump off of this edge. As soon as the camera is above your character, jump again. You want to fall all the way down, and you want the Stake of America to appear just like I have it highlighted under your endurance bar. Choose to revive at the Stake of America. You're now in Radahn's arena. Get ready to go after Radahn. As soon as you go through the teleporter, head away from Radahn towards the camera. This will despawn Radahn, and you won't have to deal with the arrow phase. Once he disappears, drink your physic. I put on Golden Vow here. I don't put on Howl of Shabriri until I'm closer to Radahn. It's our shortest lasting buff at 40 seconds. Golden Vow again lasts for 80 seconds. So go ahead and get off your horse here. Put on Howl of Shabriri. And you want to stay near Radahn's legs as much as possible. And watch out for all of his swipes. This is the perfect opening attack. If he does the jump attack, just roll under it and roll to his legs. And keep on dodging his attacks. If you need to, use the summon signs on the ground to help you out. As soon as he jumps into the sky and enters phase 2, jump on Torrent and make sure that he doesn't land on you. Down goes Radahn, and let's go ahead and level up. We'll be putting 4 points into strength. Since we've killed 2 remembrance bosses, let's go to the round table and talk to Enya. She's going to be giving us our 3rd talisman pouch.
A token of farewell.
I put in the Carrion Filigree crest, but we're going after our next talisman anyways, so you don't have to do this. You can use it for the next fight, however. It's going to be in Altis Plateau. There's the Evergel we'll be heading to. Nearest side of Grace is going to be the Altis Plateau side of Grace. You're going to want to head southwest around the cliff, head down, and then southeast. Enter the Evergel, and you're going to be fighting Godfrey, which has the same moveset as Godrick. Goes Godfrey, and now you have the Godfrey Icon. So go ahead and equip that. You should have the Ritual Sword Talisman, Star Scourge Heirloom, and the Godfrey Icon. Next, we're going to be heading to Caria Manor. So go ahead and go to the road to the manor side of Grace. Head north. Once you're inside, make a right and follow the route I'm taking. You're going to want to pick up this cookbook. It's going to allow you to craft freeze pots, which will be helpful against Malenia. Run your way to Loretta, put on your buffs, and again, there's not much to say. A few Ashes of War, and she's dead. Loretta down. Continue on through. You're going to want to go to Ranni's Rise and start Ranni's quest. You want to talk to Ranni, then Celavis and Iji. Once you've exhausted their dialogue, rest at the site of Grace. Let's put 1 point into strength. Next, we're going to be heading to Nokron. So go to the Fort Height West side of Grace. Run down into the crater. Run all the way to the Mimic. Before you go through the boss fog, make sure you have all of your weapons unequipped and your Sacred Seal. Continue on through. We're going to be lighting some fires. The next boss we're going to fight is the Regal Ancestor Spirit. After lighting this last fire, you're going to want to head northeast into the Hollowhorn grounds, and we'll be going after the Regal Ancestor Spirit. Now the Regal Ancestor Spirit, you want to watch out for his area of effect green flame attacks. He also has a charge attack and a jumping attack that will stomp on you. It's hard to lock on to the enemy because there's no way to lock on to the legs. So if possible, just don't lock onto him unless you're running away from him. So after the Regal Ancestor Spirit teleports, sometimes they'll refill their health by the enemies around them. If you're too close, this could also do lifesteal on your character. So once you see the enemy glowing, just stay back and wait for the enemy to finish. Then you can attack. Before we continue Ranni's quest, go ahead and go to the middle of the arena and use a teleporter. It's going to take you back to the Hollowhorn grounds. Go ahead and follow my character on screen. We're going to be picking up another Grace. It's going to be the Grace right before the Gargoyles. We won't be going after the Gargoyles just yet, but go ahead and grab it. Warp to the Ancestral Wood side of Grace. Use golden runes and remembrances in your inventory. We're going to be leveling up. You're going to want to put 3 points into strength. After leveling up, head into Nokron. I'm going to pick it up right here. Right where this enemy is, there's going to be the Mimic tier. Now usually I'll show you how to upgrade the Mimic tier. However, in this guide, I don't show you where the upgrades are. This is where the Mimic Tier is though. It's behind a Stone Sword key. After you pick it up, continue on towards the Fingerslayer Blade. You're going to pick that up and we're going to give it to Ranni. So pick that up, warp back to Ranni's Rise. Talk to Ranni. She in turn is going to give you a statue, which we're going to be using later on in this run.
But before I leave...
Next, let's head to the Academy. So go to the main Academy gate side of Grace. Run through it until you get to the boss fog. It's going to be the Red Wolf of Radagon. Again, nothing much to say. One fully charged Ash of War and another attack will take him down. Put the wolf down. Let's go ahead and level up. Let's put 1 point into Mind. Next, continue on through the Academy. Before we can fight Rennala, you can run past or fight Moongrum. Since we're OP, may as well fight him. So go up the lift. You're going to want to kill 2 of the Sweetings, and before you kill the 3rd one, put on all your buffs, starting with your Flask, Golden Vow, then Howl of Shabriri. Once you have 2 down and you've put on your buffs, then go after the 3rd one. After that, Rennala will come out of her bubble. Make sure your FP is full. Make sure your health is full to get maximum damage from the Ritual Sword Talisman. Fully charge your Ash of War, and just look at the damage. For phase 2, just run straight at Rennala. When you're right up against her character model, go ahead and fully charge the Ash of War. And again, just watch the damage. And that's where we're going to leave off on part 1. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe and leave a comment down below. If you have any questions or suggestions, again, leave them in the comments. Before we go, I'm going to show you our level 75 stats. 30 Vigor, 13 Mind, 20 Endurance, 44 Strength, 13 Dexterity, 9 Intelligence, 23 Faith, and 7 Arcane. Thanks for watching. I'm going to let you guys see a preview of the next part, so go ahead and stay tuned to watch that. Again, if you have any questions, comments, or build suggestions, just let me know down in the comments. See you guys soon. Bye.